Thanks to all of you who have subscribed to my channel. If you haven't, I invite you to do so because today I am having a giveaway in celebration of my 2,500 subscribers. Today's video is also part of a playlist called 5 Under 5, hosted by Farm Charm Chic and Divine Designs. Their channels are listed in the description box below along with the playlist. I dug into my paper stash for this project and some of the apothecary stamps by IOD. I cut these into the size of flashcards, and I'm making vintage flashcards here. And then I used the stamps to stamp on different Christmas words in different colors. And I also used a smaller stamp for the top right corner. I stamped on both sides of the papers, so I had 6 flashcards in all, so these could be used for a variety of different vignettes. And I did darken up the sides with a brown colored ink pad. Here I have it displayed in a plant, and there are lots of other ways that you could use these. I have a large drop cloth that I keep using for different projects, and I wanted to make a little bag here, so I cut my fabric to be the size that I wanted, and I did cut an end that had the seam at the top, and I'm going to use hot glue to glue around the edges, but I am leaving the top open. Once the glue has cooled and hardened, I did flip my bag inside out so that I could poke out those corners there, and then we're going to stamp onto the front of the bag. I'm using some of IOD's letterpress stamps and a dark gray ink pad, and I'm stamping on the word Merry. I'm adding the word Christmas down the center. So again, I placed my stamps on there, the ones that would fit onto my mount, and I'm going to use that ink pad again to ink them up. Once I get the first half of the word down, I will finish the second half. Now I'm using this stripe from the IOD Mercantile stamp, and I just want to use the thin stripe, and I'm not inking it all the way to the bottom because I actually need a longer stripe than what this stamp provides. So I didn't want there to be a definitive line at the top or bottom. So I kind of wiped off around the edges so that I could go back and add just a spot here and there. This is actually a red ink pad from Dollar Tree. I probably need to get a new one. This is not the best, but it did provide kind of a primitive look, which is what I was looking for. And I finished up with the second stripe. And then this is a handle I cut off of a canvas bag that I used to make a pillow. And I'm just going to use that handle and hot glue that onto this bag. If you would like to be one of 3 winners for a mystery box giveaway, then be sure and like, subscribe, share, and comment. Email me at mycreationstationbr@gmail.com and you'll be entered into the giveaway. The mystery box will include previous projects that you may want to keep or redo yourself. There will be some crafting supplies as well as some surprises in general. All the details will be in the description box below. Good luck! I thrifted this set of gingerbread people for $1.99, and I'm only going to be using the small one for this project. This is a wood burning tool that I got from Dollar Tree. It works pretty well. I'm trying to burn in some buttons for this gingerbread man. Once I get the buttons finished, I decided to add a little detail on his arms and legs. And then I added two small eyes. To bring out these details and to kind of look like icing, I'm using some white wax. This is Jolie's white wax, and I'm just rubbing that all over the top or the front and trying to get it down into those areas that I've burned. I also went along the edges as well. I thrifted this sled on half price day, so although it was marked $8, I got it for $4. I wanted to paint the sides blue, so I'm using this fusion paint. It wasn't covering very well and was kind of beating up, so I probably should have sanded this piece first, but instead what I did was I went over it with black chalk paint and then went back over it with a midnight blue. So now it's really, really blue, really, really dark blue. And that's more of the color I was looking for anyway. Now I painted the top of this with a coat of white chalk paint, and I'm going to be using IOD's paint inlay. This is the Delft Traditions in Azure. I spritzed the inlay with some water and then I laid it onto the wet paint. I'm going to gently press on it. I'm going to spritz it again to make sure everything is nice and wet, but not too wet. And then I'm going to set it aside and let it dry. You know it's completely dry when you look at it and the blue is not so dark. It's more of a light blue like it was before you actually wet it. And now it's dry and you can see how it's a lighter color now. So I'm going to spritz it again with some water. I'm going to dab off any excess water and I'm going to let it sit for about 30 seconds. Now that I've waited 30 seconds, I'm going to pull back that paper. And look how simply beautiful this is. Now I'm going to set that paint inlay aside because it can be used a couple of more times once it's dry. Now I went back with a white chalk pen and I added those details back onto the side of the sleigh. You do need to seal in your paint inlays, but you don't want to use something that you're brushing on because you don't want to smear the paint. So I took it outside and gave it a spritz of clear spray paint, and then I can go over it with DIY Big Top or any other finish. I'm going to finish today with a completely free project. This is an oyster shell that I'm going to paint the inside with some fusion paint encasement. I did give it 2 coats. The paint was dry. I used a pencil to draw on my design, which I wanted to be Mary and Joseph and a star. Then used some modeling paste just to paint inside of Mary and Joseph to give it some texture. Used my hot glue gun to draw on the star and also to outline Mary and Joseph. I painted Joseph with Fusion paint in Woodwick, and I painted Mary with Fusion paint in Champness. I used liquid gold leafing for the star and to outline both Mary and Joseph. And then I went back with a gold paint pen just to brighten it up a little bit. I also used the gold paint pen to go around the edges of the oyster. Once this was complete, I drilled a hole in the top and added some jute twine and a bow. When I got to looking at it, I decided the white was a little too stark, so I used some antique wax and just rubbed that all over the entire ornament. Looking back, I kind of wish I'd have left it white, but you let me know what you think. Fill everything in, and to give it a shine, I added some triple thick. And then this ornament was ready for the tree. Thanks again to Emily and Christine for hosting today's playlist. Be sure and check out their channels in the description box below, and don't forget to watch that playlist. Also, if you're interested in the giveaway that I'm having, I have all the details you need to know in the description box. Here's another video I think you might like. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.